That was Tupac, Keep Your Head Up. So it's obvious that race relations in America have always been convoluted from its inception. It is part aspirational, it is part evil, it is part obliviousness. Case in point, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men were created equal. And you can write something as eloquent as that at the same time you're enslaving people. Like, all men are created equal, not you, nigga, make this tea for me. We can abolish slavery in 1865, but what happened right after 1865? There were black codes, there were Jim Crow, there were vacancy laws. They deputized citizens. All of that was in response to slaves being free, right? So we've had separation of separate but equal, and it was anything but separate is equal. We can fight a war against Nazism, but yet bring it here. We can rail on about apartheid, but be oblivious to how it's played out right here. So that is the conundrum in America. It is always part aspirational, part demonic, part evil, and part obtuse. You just pretend like you don't see it. Like you pretend like these things aren't real. You can take the Francis Scott Key's poem, The Defense of Fort McHenry, which has become the national anthem. In the third stanza, the very national anthem that they were suspending players for and telling people that they were unpatriotic, in the third stanza, it talks about killing black people. That is the conundrum of America. That in America right now, people will get mad that you don't stand for something that was not written to be used like it is. We scrape racism off and pretend like it doesn't exist. Right now, what is happening in Alabama? Alabama has a sordid history with racism. Even now, the Supreme Court has told them they had to reconfigure their congressional maps to include black people. The Supreme Court did it. They did it, redrew it again, and they've been told again to do it. Alabama has always been at odds with the court system. It's not unusual. Alabama is no different now than it was when it was George Wallace substantively. We're saying we're not going to do anything we don't want to do. And it's all about race. Florida right now drew congressional lines and has been told by a court that these lines were illegal to draw. We've seen Florida fire people that were the only black lawmakers in the state. Because every action, every time there's alerts for it, there are people who say we're not going to do it. That is the conundrum of America. We can celebrate a holiday about freedom knowing when we weren't all free. We can celebrate a holiday giving thanks knowing what it costs people. But that is the conundrum of life in America. It is aspirational. There's some evil things that happen and people pretend like they don't see them. Right now, the very places that extol the virtues of freedom, that yell freedom the loudest, are the very ones who do not want you to be able to buy drinks on Sunday. You can't smoke weed, and a woman can't even have autonomy of her own body. The only thing they actually want freedom for is to tell you what you should do. Isn't it funny how we talk about freedom all the time? Look at the place where they yell freedom the loudest, and look at how little freedom they have. Try to buy a beer on a Sunday from a bar. Let a woman try to control her own body. As a matter of fact, Alabama has the longest constitution in the world. Our constitution is a little over 8,000 words with several amendments. Alabama has over 312,000 words, and mostly all of them mean no. That is the conundrum in America. Right now, Florida would rather have children be school shooters than woke. There are banned books, and not one of them is Mein Kampf, which was Hitler's actual manifesto. Hitler actually wrote a manifesto that several school shooters and mass murderers and white supremacists quote all the time. It's not banned, but Toni Morrison and Maya Angelou is. A school shooter, you never saw him have a Black History book drop out of his pocket. But we'll rather have children be woke, be more afraid of them being woke than being serial killers. I don't know why the cage birds sing, but I know why it ducks. If we're going to have these systems where we pretend like we're lurching forward and creeping back, we need to have an honest look at ourselves. America is aspirational. It does some demonic evil things, some things that are patently evil. And then there are people who pretend like they don't see any of it. It is ridiculous to pretend like we haven't gone far. But all that time, there have been people who are doing exactly what they're doing now. They're no different than the governors of Alabama or Arkansas or Florida. They're the same as they ever were. It is every time we lurch forward, somebody pulls us back and pretend like they have no idea what we're talking about. Freedom. We yell freedom while we constrict it for everybody else. We yell freedom. Every man has a... It's ironic that the very people who said they had the freedom not to take a vaccination don't even know how obtuse they sound when they tell a woman she can't have control of her own body. And that is the dance in America. Every step forward, there's some steps back. And people pretending like they don't know the difference. There's a little note from the GED section. Got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.